Hello everyone, Tina here. Welcome to PhotoPlay's YouTube channel and welcome to Tuesdays with Tina. I'm so glad you're here with me today. Today we're going to create a card using the Say It With Stamps Flirty Flamingos stamp set. So cute. Lots of fun flamingos in here along with some fun sentiments. And then I'm also going to be using the Say It With Stamps Flirty Flamingo die set. So let's jump in and create a summer vibe card. And we're going to start off by doing a little bit of stamping. Let's go ahead and take out our Flirty Flamingos stamp set, and we are going to stamp with my stamping positioner. I'm going to use some alcohol marker friendly cardstock to stamp my images along with some alcohol marker friendly ink. I always like to tape down my panels inside of my stamping positioner versus using the magnet. For me it's just easier. We have four flamingos in here. I like the one that is standing straight up and down, and then I also like the one that has the leg kicked up here in the bottom corner. There's also some fun summery elements in here. There's a pineapple and a heart. There is a banana palm or a palm leaf. I'm going to take the hibiscus flower along with one of the leaves that kind of looks like a palm leaf, smaller one, and we'll go ahead and ink this up with alcohol marker friendly ink. So cute. I love flamingos. So our images are stamped, and aren't they so cute? Super fun. I'm going to put my positioner aside. I'm going to share with you the colors that I'm going to use to color in my images. I have a pile here. I'm going to zoom in, let my camera focus a bit. And then I'll zoom in on my image. I'll play a little bit of music while I color, and then when I'm done coloring, I'll be right back. Okay, I have my coloring all done. We'll zoom back out. We're going to take the coordinating dies and we'll go ahead and die cut out our Flirty Flamingos. We'll line these up and then tape them down, and we'll run these through our die cut machine. Okay, our little flamingos are die cut out. Now we need a background. We need a home for them. So we're going to put these aside and we're going to work on our background. I have two shades of teal colored cardstock, and we're going to bring in the Say It With Stamps number 9 border die set. Love this die set because it's great for seam building. You get some grassy, you get a postage edge, scallops. There's a few different sizes of waves in here. or scallops, depending on how you cut them, which makes it really nice. I'm going to use the larger scallop, and we're going to die cut out a border on each of these pieces of cardstock. Okay, I have some waves created here with the largest scalloped border, and I'm going to go ahead and layer both of these together. The width of these is a 4 1/4 inches. For my background, I want to do something a little extra special, so I have a piece of white cardstock, and we're going to create a background using the Say It With Stamps notebook banners die set. I love the notebook edge in here. And I'm going to die cut this out. This is created for a number 6 size slimline, but it's great for A2 size cards too. And we will run this through our die cut machine. Okay, we die cut out our notebook edge. I love the note, and you know what? This makes a great border too. So keep your negative pieces in your scraps, because I think that makes a pretty neat border. Okay, instead of going right side up, we're actually going to flip this panel around, but I do want to do a little bit of ink blending, but I want to keep the bottom white. So I'm going to bring in some Post-it note tape, and I'm just going to tear off a strip here, and we're going to mask off the bottom edge, about maybe 3/4 of an inch from the bottom edge. Now we're going to do a little bit of ink blending on their background, and we're going to bring in the Say It With Stamps 3-piece dot stencil set. Love this because there's 3 different sizes of polka dot stencils in here. This is the medium one, but let me show you the other sizes. You have a slightly larger one, and then a not too small, but smallest one here. But we're going to use the mid-size polka dots for our background. I have plastic behind my stencil because there's pixie spray behind here. Pixie spray is a light tack adhesive, and so since this is a stencil set, I use packaging. Let me show you. If you wanted to use the packaging from your stamps, you could just place that on the back side of your stencils, trim it around, this way they don't stick together. I think I may have mentioned that before, but I'm going to go ahead and take my stencil, and again we have pixie spray already on here. I'm going to bring in my blending mat, and then we are going to just add some color to our background. I'm going to use a pink ink and then also a yellow ink. These two blend together and create a real pretty orange. I'm just going to use my blending brushes and start off. We'll start off with our yellow ink, and I'm going to add a little bit of color to my background. Once we have yellow ink, we can go ahead and wipe off our stencil, and I just wipe it off while it's still on my panel. And then I'm going to go in with my pink blending brush, and we're going to add some highlights to our yellow circles. I love when pink and yellow mix together. It creates a real pretty summery look. You get pinks and oranges and yellows all tied in together. Okay, I think we're going to leave it like that. We'll go ahead and wipe off our stencil, and then we can do the reveal here, and we have some real fun two-toned polka dots. I'm going to go ahead and remove my Post-it note tape off the bottom. Now, I mentioned that we're going to be making an A2 size card. Well, of course, this might be a little bit too big for an A2 size card. So to fix that, I do want to take my paper trimmer, and we will go ahead and trim off the bottom. We'll take 1 inch off the bottom, but keep both pieces. We're going to do a little alteration, and what's going to cover the alteration is our little waves. Once we have our notebook edge trimmed down, I want to put some pattern paper on the background of my card base. To do that, we're going to be using the Say It With Stamps Brights 6x6 paper pad. I like the yellow in here, but I like that there's dots and stripes in this paper pad. I picked out the diagonal stripes here and the yellow color, and I'm going to use my paper trimmer, and we'll trim this down so it's going to be slightly smaller than my card base. So we're trimming it at 4 inches by 5 1/4, and that's going to make a nice bright summery background. Okay, after I have my pattern paper adhered to my card base, I needed to trim off a little bit more of my notebook edge. So I took basically like a 3/4 inch strip out from the middle section. I'm going to flip over the bottom edge of my notebook, and then we're just going to reattach it. Tacked that down, so now it's slightly smaller and will fit an A2 size card front beautifully. I went ahead and die cut a piece of vellum, and then also a slightly smaller circle with white cardstock. I wanted to put this on my panel, but I wanted to see some of the polka dots behind it. So we're going to go ahead and adhere our circle to our vellum, making sure it's centered. And then I'm going to go ahead and figure out my placement here. I know I want my wavy border on the bottom covering that seam. I want to evenly space it left to right because this is going to go the width of my card base. Once I'm happy with my placement of my circles behind my wavy borders, I'm going to take my paper trimmer and trim off that circle. Now, after I trimmed off that part of my circle, I have some teal and white baker's twine. I'm going to go ahead and add my baker's twine to the very bottom of my waves. We're going to place our polka dot paper panel where we want it on our card base. In fact, I can lightly tack that down. That's okay. This just gonna, we need a guide. And then I'm gonna take our wave and our circle piece, and we're gonna tack this down over the seam of our notebook edge. And then I can lift up our panel completely, and I'm going to flip this around, and I'm going to add some foam adhesive behind it. I'm going to remove the release paper off of my foam adhesive, and then this panel is completely covered with foam adhesive. And we can center this on our card base. So we have a little bit of dimension, but not too much. Okay, now we have our flamingos. After we lightly tack down our flamingos, we're going to stamp "You Are Flamazing." To do that, we'll use and I'm going to use my black ink here. And I'm going to stamp it directly on the top layer of my wavy background. After our sentiment is stamped, you can see how fabulous that looks. I'm going to go ahead and flip over my flamingos, and we're going to add some adhesive behind the longer one, and we'll tuck this flamingo underneath the water edge here. We'll tack that one down, and then that's the corally color that we colored in. This is the pink flamingo. We're going to use some foam adhesive behind here, and we'll add this flamingo right next to our sentiment. I think is a playful look. And then we have our flower and our leaf. We're going to put foam adhesive behind these as well. And I'm going to add these just above my bow here. I think that's a great home for it. I went ahead and added a few teal colored sequins to my project for a little bit of shimmer, and then we're going to top it off with a little bit of sparkle to our hibiscus and our little palm leaf. And then that finishes off my card today using the Say It With Stamps Flirty Flamingos stamp set. I hope you get a chance to check it out, and I thank you so much for joining me. Have a wonderful day, and we will see you soon. Bye-bye.